Hi guys, Mason here today, and today I'm setting up a vivarium for a Panther Chameleon. So the vivarium we're using is a Viv Exotic 2 foot by 3 foot cage, and we've got a ceramic heater by Thermostat and also a UVB bulb by Arcadia. So we'll begin by adding the substrate. So I'll just pause the video while I open the bag of the substrate. So the substrate that we're using is a Habitat rainforest mix, which is great for humidity. So it's sort of like an orchid bark, and we'll add all of that to the bottom of the enclosure. One thing I will mention, I have actually taken the doors out of the vivarium just to make it a lot easier. So we'll fill that right up because that allows a lot of space and also a lot of substrate to help keep the humidity in the actual cage, as this is a Panther Chameleon that's going in the cage, so they do require a little bit of humidity, well, quite a lot, as they come from Madagascar. So next we'll add some logs to the actual cage, which will allow basking areas for the chameleon to bask under both the ceramic heater and also the bulb. And then we'll start adding some plants. So I'll just quickly grab the logs and get back to the video. So I've added the 2 logs in this formation. This will help keep it nice and sturdy for the chameleon to climb on when it's an adult, as it is only a sub-adult at the moment. I've also packed some of this rainforest mix around the actual logs to help keep them sturdy as well. This will also help when the chameleon is climbing it. It stops it from actually falling over and gives it ample perches for it to bask under both lights and also the heat. So next we'll unpack some plants and I'll install them for you guys. So the plants that we're using is the Zoomed range of large hanging plants. These look quite naturalistic and can make the vivarium look quite great for tropical species. So I'm going to add these 2 other ones that there is. We've got 3 different types to add in this vivarium, and then I'll get right back to the video. It's just because it's quite boring watching me stick some plants to the actual side of the cage, and also it's quite difficult using one hand. So I'll get back to the video when I've done that. So I've stuck 2 of the plants in, and I'm actually going to put the 3rd in a minute. And you can actually get some pieces of plant like this, and actually you can push them into the indentations on the wood, and it actually helps give sort of a living effect to the wood and makes it look like the plants are growing out of the wood. So you can add pieces like this if they break off of the actual hanging plants, and still makes a cool, good use for them. So we've actually got some more of this stuff, so add some more actually into the indentations, and as you can see, it gives the effect that the actual wood is still living, as if it was found out in nature. So I'll just unravel some more of it and I'll add some more into the actual enclosure. So we can also add some more towards the base to give the appearance that there's actually more plants growing all over the wood as such, instead of just in certain areas. So as you can see already, it started to make the overall appearance of the wood look a little bit better, and also make it look a lot more natural, as the area that these species of chameleon come from is actually quite bushy in nature and actually contains large numbers of plants, creating a thick rainforest. And it's great with reptiles to sort of try and duplicate this in captivity. And it also in effect calls the reptile to use the enclosure a lot more effectively and more efficiently, and also much more aesthetically pleasing for the actual owner of the animal. So we also got this little bit of vine here that we can just tuck where the 2 logs are actually resting together, and just give the appearance of a new plant starting to grow actually in where the two logs are. So we've added that in. Now I'll just quickly grab the water bowl and show a area which would look quite beneficial and look sort of in place in the cage. So the water dish that we're going to be using is the Exoterra medium dish, and we're actually going to just place this one sort of to the side of where one of the logs are. This actually gives the effect that there is a natural water source in the cage. Chameleons don't really drink from a water bowl. They'll actually drink from the leaves themselves in the cage, which is another reason why it's quite important to have a lot of plants or fake plants in the enclosure, just to give them areas that they can actually drink from. And due to them being a rainforest lizard, they do need readily large amounts of water a day. I usually accomplish this by literally just using a misting bottle and misting the enclosure down. This will encourage the chameleon to actually drink. So we place that there and we'll fill that with water. Chameleons will actually drink from the water bowl if they sort of feel like there isn't enough water present. They will probably go down and drink from it. And another thing that we can actually add to the enclosure to make it more easy for the actual keeper to use is we can add a thermometer. This will help us measure the actual temperatures inside the cage. So in order to control the heat of the actual ceramic heater we're using a Thermostat temperature thermostat, and we're going to set it to about 28 degrees Celsius. This will keep it at a nice temperature for the chameleon, and also not too hot as to burn and cause it to dehydrate. So I've decided I'm actually going to place this final plant actually in the back of the vivarium, just to make the back more interesting instead of being the standard wood color. And we just add this using the suction cups, which are quite helpful. I found they tend to work better on wood if you add a bit of water to them, just to allow them to suck onto it a little bit better. With glass you tend not to, however I have in glass vivariums added the water just because it allows it to stick a little bit better. And as you can see, we've basically used these plants to just build up as much foliage as possible. This will allow the chameleon to hide, and also, as talked about earlier, allow water to trickle down and allow it to drink. And from earlier, this large log here was actually a little bit too big. So what we have done is we have the offcut, and you can actually place that in the vivarium just to create a more naturalistic look and make it look like a piece in a forest. So that's the chameleon setup, guys. I'll just grab the chameleon and we'll see whether it likes the cage. So this is the young male panther chameleon. They can be a little bit defensive when they're this age, however they will tame down. They're one of the most commonly kept chameleons in captivity, and they're also one of the most colourful. So we'll place this little guy in his enclosure there, and as you'll probably see, we'll place him on the floor. And yep, he's doing a bit of a defensive posture. We'll actually encourage him, and as you'll see, he'll immediately climb straight up. This is because this is an arboreal species of lizard. And what we'll do is we'll spray the cage down. Oh, they actually have a prehensile tail, so if they do fall like that, it will allow them to recover. And as you can see, it's just hiding behind there away from me. So we'll spray the entire cage down, give it a nice spray so that it can drink effectively. Oh, he's just fell down, so we'll give him a helping hand. There we go, place him into the vivarium there. So as you can see, he's climbing straight up into the plants. Thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for more content. Thank you.